Hello, it's your Tech Teach Grow team back with another tech tip. Today I want to talk to you about a great extension and program called EquatIO. So this video is mainly for anyone who teaches math or science. However, I did want to mention that this company, TextHelp, also has a literacy-based extension called Read and Write. So if you're interested in that, look for more information on that coming soon. So EquatIO, first of all, is an extension that's really easy. You can add it to Chrome. So you can see here, I just Googled EquatIO. The I and the O are capital, but you should be able to find it either way. And you can add it to Chrome. You can see, of course, mine's already added, so it says remove from Chrome. And then once you have that, you'll see it here in your extension list. So once you add it, then the other thing I would recommend doing is to apply for a free teacher account. So teachers do get a free premium account, meaning you get all of the features of EquatIO. So all you really have to do is just choose which product you like, which of course, if you're literacy as well, like an elementary school teacher, you could get both of these extensions. And for EquatIO, you just click on that and there's a form to fill out here. And within 24 hours, you should have your premium access. So definitely I recommend doing that as well. Now, students can also download these extensions. They do not get premium access for free, although I believe they get premium access for 30 days. Of course, that's not really the best because then after 30 days, it's like, hey, what happened to all my premium features? But it is definitely something that you could potentially have, your building principal buy for your students or for your school because it is approved by the district. So look into that if you play around with it and are really interested in that. So there's a couple different ways to use EquatIO. The first one, the main one, is to use it to add images of math expressions, equations, sentences, or science. There are some science tools as well, to a document. As a premium account, you can add it to docs, slideshows, Google Forms, like if you're making a quiz, Jamboards, all kinds of Google documents. I believe the student account, the free account, you can only add it to Google Docs, so you can't add it to other Google formats. So how this works is you can see it's here on the bottom. To get to that, all I have to do is go in and click on my extension, and it'll pop up here on the bottom of my doc. And then, let's say I'm creating a worksheet for my students to do. If I want to add an equation or maybe fraction, something that's really hard for me to type normally onto a doc or a slideshow, this is where the EquatIO editor comes in. So the first button here is the equation editor. So on this one, you can see I have some fractions here from the last time I was using it. I can just type in what I want. So let's say I want 2x minus 5 equals 15. Now, that's something that's pretty easy to do, on the doc itself. That's not a super hard one. But if you start to, add special symbols or fractions, then it can get a little trickier without the equation editor. Over here, we have some options for different symbols. You can see there's some really advanced math and science in here, different formulas that you can put in as well, like the area of a triangle. There's lots of different symbols here, like long division. Those are hard things to put in to a doc when you're just typing, right? Greater than, less than symbols, all of that. So you have all these different options here of symbols that you can put in. Okay, so for example, maybe if instead of an equal sign, I want to put in a greater than or equal to sign. So there you go. And then I just hit insert math and it puts it in as an image. Okay, and I can make that image larger or smaller, whatever, move it around, however, just like a normal image. So that's one way that it works with the equation editor. The other ways that I think are even more helpful would be this one, the handwriting recognition. This one is really helpful if you have, longer equations or more complicated math that you want to put in, especially certain symbols, and you don't have to sit there and search for every symbol. You can just draw it in and the computer will figure it out. So for example, let's say I'm doing a math problem with fractions. I can use my touch screen to go ahead and write in the problem. Okay, you can see that it goes and it starts typing exactly what I'm writing. Okay, now if I wanted to maybe explain this and actually show the steps, I could also do that as well. So then I can make this a little bit bigger so I have more space here. So then maybe I want to show how I change the denominators. Okay, you can see it did a little dot symbol. Now, look, there's a little mistake there. See how it made a little comma instead of a dot? So I can also type in here and change that. I can add a symbol that way. Or, there we go, it fixed it already. Or, I can go in and maybe I want to do parentheses instead. And so you can use both sides. That's what's kind of nice about this is I can use the handwriting side and the typing side. So it's two different modalities there if you need to. Okay, so now I want to say equals 3, 6. Okay, so see how it's doing the whole step there. Now the other thing that's great about this is let's say I wanted to really highlight this. I can highlight it and I can actually change the color of that. And then before it goes into my image or into my document, I'll have different colors there. So very visual for the students. And again, students can do this as well. So they can use this to write in math and put in also, they can change colors and all of that. So that's great with handwriting. Again, with the free account, I believe they can do a couple of handwriting samples a day each time. So, that's unfortunate that they can't do it all the time, but, there's some options there. But again, this is really mainly, I think, for you to use as the teacher to create things for your students to work on. So let's say I'm done. I'm going to go ahead and hit insert, close this back up, and look at that. There is an image. Oops, I'm going to do this. There's an image now of what I just created. So you could put that in and then students can answer the questions. Okay. Another option is speech input. This one's pretty cool because if I record, if I just start talking, you can see that it's putting in everything that I'm saying. However, you're not really seeing much math on the right side because it does a pretty good job of filtering out. Although you notice a couple of symbols that maybe pop in there. So instead I can say 2/3 times 2/2 equals 4/6. Okay, now you can see it's not perfect. Oop, better stop recording. It's not perfect. There's a few mistakes there. So it's something that you definitely may have to mess around with, but it's pretty easy to just, mess with it there. And I can put in my fraction there. It's pretty easy as well just to type that in. So if it does make a mistake, you can also do that as well. Okay, so those are some of the great tools that you can use. With Premium, there's also some other great tools like mathspace, which I'm going to show you in just a moment. There's some STEM tools as well, scientific calculator, there's a periodic table and a molecular viewer. We can build molecules. There's also a graph editor here through Desmos, so you can put in an equation and it will graph it, and then you can insert that directly into your document as well. So again, this is great for creating assignments or quizzes or anything you might need with math. So that's the equation editor. The other thing I wanted to show you is mathspace. Now, mathspace is another feature of EquatIO that you have access to. Both teachers and students, free or premium accounts, have access to this. Of course, free accounts don't have all the same features as premium. So as a teacher, you can get to this by typing in equate.tio, I believe, or equate.io. I'll make sure that's also in the notes on the tech tip. And then you just sign in with your Google account like you normally would with any premium tool. And then it takes you here to your EquatIO dashboard. You can see I have a couple math spaces that I've already created. New space right over here. On the side, you also have assignments. I'll show you that in a moment. So if I want to create a new math space, essentially this is like a digital whiteboard. So it's a digital whiteboard that has all the features that the extension has with a couple extra things that I want to show you. So it definitely has the equation editor, the handwriting recognition, the speech, the graphing calculator, and so on. It also has a freehand drawing, so you can write and students can write on the whiteboard. And then it has shapes and smart shapes, which I want to show you. This is pretty cool. Students do have access to shapes. They don't, with a free account, have access to the smart shapes or the science tools, unfortunately. But the shapes are great. It looks like, oh, there's just a couple of shapes, but if you hit more shapes, then you go into a menu here, and it's got so many different options. You have coins, you've got pattern blocks, 3D shapes, you've got counting rods, base 10 blocks, nets, Venn diagrams, algebra tiles, it just goes on, and then lots of other science symbols as well. So there's like symbols and shapes, all kinds of great stuff. So this is really great for you if you're creating, an assignment, or also for students because they can manipulate these on the computer. So that's a great option. You also have access in your premium account to smart shapes. So that's kind of fun. So for example, if I'm creating a problem about fractions, let's say, and I want my students to add fractions and I want them to have a visual. With a smart shape, you can actually edit the way that your fraction circle or fraction bar looks, for example. So I can change, maybe I want to do 4 segments, or maybe I want to do 6 segments. I can change how many segments my fraction circle has, and then I can also change how many are shaded. So if, let's say I want to do a problem where it's 4, let's do 4/5 plus 3/5, right? So I can do 4/5, I can go back and do another fraction circle, and then this one I can do 3/5, and then I can also change the color so that they're different, right? And then I could maybe go in and draw a plus sign in here. You can kind of make it work, whatever works best for you. So this is fun too because, again, you can use this to create visuals for your students. So it's a really great tool. So once you've created your math space, there's some different options here. You can save it just in your EquatIO menu, which it automatically does that. You can also share this with your students. So up here in the corner, I can make a copy for each student if you want to create an actual problem in the math space. And then I can either make a copy or expect a response. And then I can share that with them. It'll create a link, and I can even do it through Google Classroom. So you can link this to an assignment in Google Classroom, which is great. And then when students click it, it will open up a math space for them, and then they can write and draw on it as well. And then lastly, I wanted to just show you this. This is what is available for free versus premium. Again, you can have a free premium account as a teacher. Students get premium for the first 30 days, and then after that, it's a free account. However, it is possible to purchase this for students in your building at your building level. So that's something you could look into if you really thought you would use it for that. So you can see for Google Chrome, some of the things we don't have. You can see Google Docs. We don't have, Google Docs we have, but we don't have forms, slides, sheets, or drawings for the free account. But of course, premium does. And there's a few other things that they don't get. The speech input looks like they do get that. So that's great for your younger learners. They can speak the math into the computer and have it type it. So that's pretty cool. Anyway, you can look into that here on the TextHelp site as well. So I hope that gives you some great ideas of ways that you can use EquatIO in your classroom to make it a little bit easier to create your own math and science activities and lessons. See you next time.